trying to give you a view as well of the city. It's not closer. How are we all doing? So finally made it to Bangkok, and I'm here at my hotel for my alternative state quarantine stay for the next 2 weeks. Let's see if I've got anything happening in the live chat. Maybe all the buffering put people off. Let's see if anyone comes in. Hi John. All right. Yeah. Wi-Fi is not brilliant. Hopefully it will stay. Hey Russ. All right. Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah. Sorry. Bangkok Wi-Fi. Let's see if it improves. Yeah, buffering, I'm sure, for a lot of you. All right, you still there? We still on? All right, well, I'll tell the story, I suppose. This will be maybe helpful for anyone that's in a similar situation and trying to get here. It's probably quite noisy, but it's nice to be hearing those familiar sounds again, as you know, the motorbikes and everything that's going on, the street vendors and all that stuff. So it was it's still all a bit of a blur. I can't believe I'm actually here. It's amazing. It feels very surreal, quite strange to be back here now in a fairly familiar environment. Hi Yosei, hi Flat Truth. All right, okay, thanks man. Yeah, buffering a bit. All right. Yeah, it feels kind of weird. I mean, it was all like a bit of a dream, but yeah, it's obviously here is more familiar to me than it was in the UK. It's buffering bad. Yeah, I'm not sure what I can do about it, whether I can get any closer to the Wi-Fi or not. COVID test 22-hour window in which to get your results, and it's not entirely clear whether it's the time from the test or the time from the results. So the results, you know, they have the test be sent off to a post, then they test and they send the results back. So I went for the Tuesday test and hoped and prayed for the results to come through on Thursday morning, which they did, thank goodness, because I had to leave the house. I basically, you know, the test results arrived about 5 because we had a printer at home, but it broke down the night before, so I rushed out and bought had to spend 70 quid on a printer. Had to be done though. If I hadn't discovered the print documents, for some reason it just packed up. And so, you know, panic stations, off to buy a printer at the local computer store. And thank you, because, you know, my test results came through, you know, just after 8 o'clock in the morning. And I was off out the house by 8:30. So luckily I'd given them a template to follow, and they kindly used that. And then arrived at the airport, Heathrow, really quiet. The before the flight, but you know, other terminal 3 closed basically, which is the usual terminal they go from, because of the. Sorry about the. I don't know what I can do to improve it. Yeah. just trying to tell us, I presume the router's outside, so I'll kind of stay near that. Where was I? Yeah, so I arrived at the airport about 3 hours before, and had to go a long time because everyone has to have all this paperwork now for traveling, you know, your insurance and what have you. But mine all checked out once I finally got there, and then it was on through security. Wow, they do. I don't know what triggered them, or maybe they just didn't have much to do, so they you know, or maybe they thought I was just being too nice and I was suspect because I was being nice and smiling. Yeah, I had to go through the scanner, I was patted down, and then they asked me to open my bags and go through my bags, even though they'd been through the scanner. So, you know, lots of kind of questions and stuff there, which I felt was quite invasive. And so was that, yeah, going through the airport security. But yeah, finally got onto the flight. It was a massive, is it an A380, the big aircraft? So I had a whole row to myself. I was to lie down. Suddenly on us, did I make my own way to the hotel? Almost home no, so once I was through immigration, that was a bit of an issue as well. That, you know, they process you. It's very efficient. I must, you know, quite anxious. Just want to get back, and this is going to take another 2 weeks of solitary before I can get home. So yeah, just was just a little issue with because they did initially put the wrong passport number on my certificate of that they had at the Bangkok end was the old information. So they questioned that, and I had to kind of my phone, try and go through emails to the embassy and show them that, you know, where things had gone wrong. A bit of a palaver there, but eventually we were let out, and so there was a van waiting for me from the hotel, and you know, it was like it's like Outbreak, you know, they treat you like you've got it, yeah, even though of course. Oh yeah, one thing that happened on the bus. So I got the bus from Bristol, you know, so I'm there, I've put my suitcase in the hold on the bus, and then I'm there with a couple of other bags, and I'm kind of getting on the bus, and you know, I'm ready. I didn't have my mask on, but I was getting ready to put it on. On the home straight. But then, you know, so there's a couple sitting on the bus, and of course they've got all the social distancing marked out and all that stuff. And this guy, you know, kind of in that polite but nasty English way, he said, you know, put your mask on, please. You know, just another normal passenger, being very self-righteous. So that was kind of the last person I spoke to leaving the UK, was some asshole giving me jip about not wearing my mask on the bus, although I had it and I was going to. that was you know, just people on their high horse, which has been rather annoying. Anyway, that aside, stopped to Dubai. Arrived here, picked up by this minivan. I was the only person in the minivan. Got plastic between myself and the driver. The driver was great, lovely guy, not really phased at all. But when I got to the hotel, it's quite funny. You know, they greet you all. They got the masks and the PPE and all that stuff, and they take your temperature again, and they check you in. It's all done outside, and you've even got to kind of walk through a bath of disinfectant. And I saw that the guy, after I got out of the van, the guy's spraying the van with disinfectant and everything. They're all just following protocol, you know, but it makes you feel a bit, you know, it doesn't really make you feel welcome. You do sense that there's a lot of, you know, usually the Thais are very welcoming, very nice and sweet and everything, and it's always usually a very nice experience. But this was quite, you know, I mean, you know, doing their best, but there's a lot of paranoia that you're bringing in disease, and so it wasn't that pleasant. So, you know, and then taken upstairs. I mean, the guy takes me upstairs in the lift, and they literally in the lift. There's footmarks on the floor where, you know, each person in the lift has to face the corner, has to stand in the corner of the lift, not facing each other. I mean, you know, they don't talk to you really, and they bring you out, let you in. Meals are delivered outside outside the, oh no, meals are delivered outside the door. You get a knock and you go outside and you pick up your meal, but by that time they've run away. I try to say thank you as the person's disappearing into the lift, and they don't even want to look at you. So it's I understand it's just, maybe again it's just protocol, don't interact. I've got to take I've been given a thermometer to take my temperature every morning, or twice a day, every morning and every afternoon. I send that result to the nurse that's been assigned to me by the Line app. I can I choose from, get 3 meals a day, and I can choose some extra room service stuff. But basically this is the room I'm assigned to, and it's the cheap end of the spectrum, but I've got a balcony, which is great. It's a construction site and what have you, but it's people going about their daily business, the samlor, the tuk-tuks, and people selling their wares on the street. So this is the setup. I originally wanted you to kind of see this rather than doesn't buffer. Hang on a minute. Try not to drop this. Try that. Oop. So you can at least see the street. A better view of the street. Yeah, you can hopefully see stuff going on there now. What was that? Yeah, where was I? Obviously, huge thank you. Hi, Execret. Hi, John Corey of the Iron Realm. Obviously, it's. I'm stoked to be here, and thanks ever so much to everyone that's helped make that possible. It's been very stressful, and just. And I'm kind of nearly there. Just got to do this 2 weeks of quarantine, and hopefully I'll be reunited with the family soon. It's interesting talking to my kids. Hi, Boomy. The younger ones don't really understand what's going on. The older ones at least know that I'm back in Bangkok, so that's nice for them. My wife's struggling. Her health isn't good. I'm really desperate to get back to her. Hi, Mr. Cheswick. How do, mate? Thanks. Yeah, it's nice to be back. But they've given me 90 days, so I've got until January, whatever it will be, 50 days from checking in. Who knows what will happen? Whether I'll be able to extend my visa. The immigration rules are kind of changing. Hi, Coriolis. Yeah, thanks, man. Should be back for Christmas at least. Yeah. So there's some big protests going on in Bangkok at the moment. It's similar to the kind of Black Lives Matter protests that occurred in the UK. I wonder if it's more to do with pent up frustration at the. There's some construction going on down there. That's what that noise is. From the COVID, but some unprecedented, calling for government change and things like that, and they're even kind of protesting against loyalty. And what's that? Jason of the Disby. Hi, Nick. Good to see you. You made it home. Not good to see you. Yeah. Yes, Red. Thanks. Yeah. It's as I said, I think I mentioned before that part of the process is actually signing this declaration or waiver that you agree to be incarcerated. I have agreed to it, obviously, in the hopes that I can eventually leave. And Mr. Cheswick, some great stuff you're putting out there, man. Good stuff. You all are. What else can I say? It's just, it is fantastic to be here. It is feeling quite surreal, but it's nice to see busyness, life going on. Where I was in the UK, it was quiet, and it was just it's obviously made worse with the whole COVID thing. I understand that there's all sorts of restrictions being placed now on people in the UK, the usual stuff. I don't think that's happening here. As that goes, I think they're making progress. But in the UK, they seem to be going backwards with everything. Of course, a lot of us know that there's ulterior motives to a lot of the stuff that's going on. It's just it is a different, I think, slightly different atmosphere here. But I see, as I said, these student protests that are going on of kind of, blocking traffic in certain areas of the city. It's a bit tense in that respect. I think that might be partly due to, obviously, the economy has suffered hugely because of this whole COVID thing, and especially the tourism. Hi, Brendan. All right. And who we got there? Vertec, hi. Yeah, but it's who knows how it's going to be. It's I do have some sense of freedom here, even though I'm not allowed out of the room. I was staying with my mother in the UK, so of course, I couldn't make a video like this at sort of 10 o'clock at night or something, because it would keep my mother awake, and I'd get a knock on the wall or the door, and "You're keeping me awake." or I'd have breakfast, and and it would be a problem, there would be astonishment that I wanted to go out at certain times and things like that, But I totally understand, my mum's 75 and kind of very set in her ways now, and obviously was very affected by, considered herself vulnerable and all that stuff. So yeah, it's such a shame to see that going on, to see people being told you're vulnerable, you're not allowed to do this and you're not allowed to do that, and basically just accepting it, accepting from the TV as gospel. It's kind of nice to be away from that now. But yeah, a lot of other people trying to do the same thing to get back to their families, and I do feel for them. It's getting slightly easier, but it's tough times. But it's I'm kind of grateful for the time, because it does, you manage to reflect. It's made me, understand. Do you know what I mean? If you have to spend time alone, hopefully learn from that time. And we'll learn from the next 2 weeks of this. So going to try and do some meditation and some Tai Chi and stay off the cigarettes and just hi Ian, yeah. But not because I've got COVID, just because that's a precaution you have to take. And for now, and I'll have 3 tests while I'm here, 3 more COVID tests while I'm here. I think it's on day 7 and then another, day 5 and I'm not sure, I can't remember. They've given me a schedule for COVID tests, and nurses from a local hospital, more buffering, I suppose. No one has tested positive since arriving, so that's obviously a good. Yeah, just gotta string it out, really. What's that, Jason? And which code are they testing for? Which variant, which strain? We need your critical thinking mind, Nick, to... Oh dear. Yeah, well, actually shit. This is the certificate I've actually got. Well, as a Fit to Fly, I gave the doctor a Fit to Fly template, so and then he could just fill it in. Basically, on here, it's COVID-19 RT. Where was it? Yeah, but no, what? Yeah, SARS. Here we go. Don't know if you can see that. RT-PCR 10 SARS code. Sorry about the buffering. Anyway, hey, maybe we can leave it at that. Thank you to everyone who's helped make this possible. Financial support, moral support, 100 variants of coronavirus, and there is over 30. Yeah, who knows? Interestingly, I mean, turning to UK, I mean, nothing, not a cold thing. Obviously, the moment you feel a bit of a tickly throat or something, you start to get paranoid. And, I mean, personally, I wouldn't be worried about it if my whole life didn't hang in the balance based on a, COVID test result. I wouldn't, otherwise I wouldn't be bothered. It's funny, actually, the guy who gave me a lift to the airport. It's funny, a lot of people, I don't think they fear COVID. They don't fear dying from it. A lot of people know that, or a lot of people think they've already had it. It's like, I was really sick last year, and there's a lot of realization that what we're being told, to be afraid of, isn't. I don't know. And then it's like the guy who gave me a lift. He said, well, I want to get tested to see if I've had it in the past. I said, well, I'm thinking, what's the point? Why bother? It's like, but obviously, people are not afraid of dying from COVID. So it's, what's all the fuss about? Yeah. I would have no idea whether it can actually tell the difference, or what. I mean, actually, I remember after the test, it was, he really swabbed me hard after the test. I'm thinking, oh my God. Like, given COVID by the test, that was something that freaked me out, because for the first time I had a sore throat because after taking the test, and then to be confronted by those people on the bus as well. Just that's the thing, it's created a lot of division, a lot of such a shame. It is such a shame that we've got this. Inhumane situation going on where, as usual, you've got your kind of do-gooders and what have you. Yes, and anyone, it is, and that's the thing, it's permeated, hasn't it? It is a religion. It has permeated the entire culture, hasn't it? Everything anyone ever does or thinks about is affected by this thought, this paranoia, this fear. There's buffering going on. Difficult for you. So I'm in Bangkok. The help and support that I've received from the generous. I'll give you some more updates as things progress. But for me, Bangkok, and look to catch up with you soon. All right. Thanks very much. Take care.